Welcome to Binge Watchers, where we talk about the stories and characters we love and the shows they live in. My name is Ron, and let's talk about the series finale of Sense8. I know it's been a long while. Thank you for sticking with me. I had some stuff going on and also some things and also some stuff, but now I'm back, so let's do this. Sense8 has been through quite a ride as a show. When it came out, it pretty much immediately became the type of show that people are super passionate about. Some people loved it because of what it does for representation in TV, the original premise, the unique visual storytelling, or all of the above. Plenty of people hated it for the exact same reasons. I don't know exactly how big the following for this show actually was, but what I do know is that the people who loved it deeply. So because the show felt so popular to us, the people who loved the show, it was really surprising when it was canceled after only season 2, when clearly the show still had lots of directions to evolve in and more stories to tell. Netflix gave a bunch of reasons to why it was canceled: the cost of production, small viewership. If you read the original announcement, it kind of sounds like bullshit, but obviously Netflix can do whatever they want. But when a show has a fan base big enough and strong enough and vocal enough to make them bring back the show for, a 2.5 hour series finale, how small can that viewership really be? Personally, I love Sense8. I think it's one of the most original shows I've watched, both in the premise and in the way that they tell the story. This whole thing about these 8 people sharing their thoughts and experiences and their lives could easily have been a gimmick, but it's not. It's absolutely core to everything in the show. And I think that Sense8 is pure genius filmmaking when it comes to how they actually translate the connection between these characters to us, the audience. The weaker part of Sense8 for me has always been the plot. The whole thing with BPO, this evil organization that's always after them, that whole story is fine, but it always felt like they didn't really know where they wanted to go with it, and it was only really designed as a method to tie together the more meaningful character moments, which is where the show shines. The personal stories of each Sense8, the relationships between them, the incredible emotional scenes where you see something just tying all of them together, like that 4 non-blonde scenes from season 1, which I will still occasionally watch on YouTube. The plot always felt like, yeah, whatever, now this happens and back to the good stuff. But the series finale had a ton of loose ends it had to tie up, and it was actually no different from the rest of the show. So first of all, it was just awesome to see these characters once again. The finale definitely expects you to remember every little thing about the show and the story and the characters, so I do recommend you go and find some recap videos for seasons 1 and 2, or you will actually be asking yourself, what's going on? So, true to the Sense8 form, the plot of the episode is kind of weak and all over the place, and who cares, honestly? I did think it was a bit much that they tried to introduce new concepts to this world at this stage, the kind of things that could be explored further in later seasons, which I hope that at some point someone decides to pick up the rights for this and make more seasons, but for now, it didn't really contribute anything to the episode. You can definitely see that they had a lot of ideas for future seasons, and they had to try and put as many of them as they could into this one super long episode. So yeah, it feels incredibly rushed, and I don't really see how it wouldn't. I think they did the best they could under these circumstances. While the main story is still very much about them taking on BPO and Whispers and all the bad guys, I loved that they still took the time to explore some of these characters even further. Not all of them, obviously, very clearly just the fan favorites, but it worked. I loved it. I felt like they showed me what I wanted to see. The moments that make this show what it is are still there in full force. The transitions between the Sense8s, the super emotional moments, these emotional connections, those heartbreaking scenes, all of that is still there, and if it had an impact on you before, it's still gonna have an impact on you now. Now, I'm gonna get into some spoilers, so watch out if you haven't watched the episode, but you probably have. The ending, of course, was a mad scramble to just get everything done as fast as they could. They beat BPO, the good guys win, everybody's happy, Nomi's parents accept her now because they did drugs or something. Everything is wrapped up super nicely. And on the one hand, as a fan of the show, I loved it because I just want to see these characters do well and be happy and win. But as a fan of storytelling in general, it was kind of the most obvious ending that they could do. And, you know, I really don't think they could have done anything else without the fandom just tearing them apart. But I kind of wanted to see something go wrong. They obviously went super over the top with the story, with the whole exploding bus Trojan horse thing, and how everybody's an action hero, and Wolfgang specifically is basically Schwarzenegger in an 80s action movie. I didn't mind any of that. It was fun, but I kind of wanted to see them undercut all of that and bring it back down to reality, which I thought that they were gonna do when Carla gets shot. She's one of my favorites, so I was like, oh shit, this is a real moment. But then it was more like, oh, they're actually playing it safe. Which of course they had to, I know, but sometimes you just want to get punched in the gut by a story. What can I say? Bottom line, of course, you should watch this if you're a fan of the show. I had a lot of fun with it. And if you made it this far in the video, you either watched it or you're some kind of monster that doesn't care about spoilers. This is an episode that was purely made for the fans, and it feels like it. I walked away from it with a warm and fuzzy feeling. They ended the story, but in a way that, who knows, maybe we could get more Sense8 in the future. I'm interested to know, what about you? Did you feel that it was a satisfying enough ending? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and also let me know what would you like to see if we ever did get more Sense8. If you're going to be talking about spoilers, please use spoiler tags in your comments, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram and TV Time, and you can also join our Discord server where we chat about TV and it's a lot of fun, and we have a Patreon with some behind the scenes stuff and further discussions. So many things to do. And if you're finding Binge Watchers for the first time, welcome. I'd like to invite you to join the Binge Watchers community. Come talk about TV with us. It's a lot of fun. Subscribe to the channel. Do all the things. Notification, bell button stuff. I don't know if it even matters anymore. I haven't made a video in like a month and a half. But yeah, anyway, keep binging, and I'll see you next time. I mean it this time. I'll see you next time. I promise.